everybody, my name is Brian with Top Notch Lawn Care. Welcome back to the channel. This video here is a very special video. I got to meet a wonderful lady who very badly needed some help with her overgrown backyard. This backyard was so overgrown that I couldn't even tell where the back fence was. While working on the property, kind of struck up a little friendship with her, and we got to talking every day, and she baked me some cookies, a cherry cheesecake, and gave me a couple gifts that I really appreciate. And she was just a very nice lady who is taking care of her husband. Her husband has congestive heart failure and is not doing so good. And I learned a lot about this woman, and it really inspired me. Over the last couple of years, they've dealt with a lot of problems. The biggest one is they lost a grandson. Grandson got murdered, and he was 17 years old, just starting his life. And as you can imagine, that kind of puts a halt on life. That and the health of the husband has let this backyard get severely overgrown. So my objective on this property was to clear out everything in the backyard and make it as easy as possible to maintain going forward. I felt really bad for her after hearing some of the stuff that her and her family had gone through. So I wanted to do an extra special job on this property. You know, I try to do every property as best I can. This one here, I wanted to just go all out and make sure the backyard was top notch. I quickly realized that I was going to need to rent a dumpster on this one, and that's exactly what I did. And the front yard on this property is actually pretty big, so one of the hardest things was to get all the stuff that I cut down, all the brush, all the trees, everything from the backyard out to the front curb where the dumpster got delivered. So after trying to add it up, all the time I spent on this property, I think it was somewhere around 20 to 22 hours total on this property. I did end up doing the front, but you know, I think they've been getting some help on the front, and because it had been mowed, just hadn't been trimmed and edged in a while. So I know the backyard ended up just taking a very long time, so I just went ahead and got the front done. I did add a few pictures of the front to the end of this video, although there is no footage. I just wanted to get it done and get out of there. But I will say this backyard is probably one of the biggest transformations I've ever done. Just the entire backyard is cleared off, and it should be very easy to maintain going forward now. There's actually not a whole lot of grass. There's a lot of dirt, but there was just an abundance of bushes and just overgrown trees, and the neighbors behind them had a bunch of vines growing over the fence that had attached to all their brushes or all their bushes, and it just made life a little bit more difficult. But I'm really happy with the way this one turned out, and I really hope you guys like it as well. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how you guys like this video. I do appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoy it. And please stay tuned to the before and afters at the end. They are truly amazing. Thank you, and enjoy the video. So I know we got quite a mess here, but this family really needs some help. So they've had a really long string of bad luck, and they need a property that is easy to maintain going forward, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm just trying to make it easier for them to maintain. And this was kind of their dream home. They've lived here for 10 years. They love the home, but the husband just got some heart issues, can't get out and do this stuff anymore, and it just piled up just like it does with a lot of people. So I wish I could help everybody, but I just want to help this family in this video. going to be a lot of trips to the dump. But I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's really going to help them out. A lot less to maintain. And one of the biggest problems is the neighbors back here and over here, because all their stuff is just growing over. The vines are just growing over and attaching on over here. So it's kind of crazy. And we're just going to keep cutting. We want to get all this cleared out. She said she didn't want nothing left. So that's kind of the plan. I was going to leave a little bit, and she was like, nope, take it all. I was like, okay.